One Piece. This is One Piece chapter 1150, Domi Reversi. We have a cover page story this time. We in this one, Yamato was taking the sword, the sword. I guess Yasui, the Don Yasui's sword, to his shrine as a favor from Kinemon, and he's here. He made it over with page 1 and ulti, and yeah, the pilgrimage is complete. But I don't think this is going to be the end of the cover page story. Usually, if there is one, it would say final volume, but this is just volume 34. So, yeah, I imagine Yamato is going to continue traversing all of Wano, and we'll see some familiar folks on the way. In the main story, however, shit got bad real fast. Right when there was hope injected into the story by Scopper Gaban stepping in and defeating Summers, he is immediately taken out by Gunko, who is then also possessed by Imu, it looks like. And yeah, things go from bad to worse. We open up with the chapter with a few of the giants finally arriving to where the kids are. And, they're going to go get them, but they are immediately defeated by Imu's power. And Imu unleashes a huge amount of Conqueror's Haki, knocking out all the giants and the giant children at the same time. We also see that Imu is capable of summoning these weapons from these pentagram circles and firing them upon giants. So there's like cannons that come out of a pentagram circle. And we see this 2-page spread of Imu in Gunko's body with weird demon wings, emerging from her back, and a trident. I don't even know if she had that before, Gunko. And immediately, Imu starts lambasting her holy. Say what? Say again, Josh?
I said, no, that's new.
Oh, okay, cool. She immediately
That's new. The pitchfork.
Yeah, the pitchfork. So she immediately starts lambasting the other holy knights and is like, all resistance must be quashed. Is this the best thy sleep tids can do, Killingham? And Killingham's like, not so, great one. The nightmare holes remain open, and they continue to spawn monsters from every nightmare found on the island. So, yikes. And not only that, Killingham can also revive the sleep tids that were defeated. So that's not good. Imu commands Summers to lead the line of the giant children. Yeah, the other Straw Hats are still stuck. Robin's trying to pull off the thorns with her powers, but it doesn't seem to be working well. The Imu asks us, like, the question now is with whom will we parlay using these whelps as bait? And Summers is like, absolutely right, oh great one. It makes no sense, a kingdom without a king. So basically, Imu goes over to Dory and Bragi, who are currently approaching them, and she bestows the dominance over the land onto them and declares them the kings of Elbaf. Bragi says, nah, fuck that shit, and immediately grabs Gunko in the air, Gunko Imu in the air, and she commands her to bring back the children, and tells them and asks how many of them there are. Imu responds with, understand this, Dory. Understand this, Bragi. Thou wilt meet with Beard Hill Jarul and cut his head off and hold it aloft. And then she summons this book, and out from this book, she pulls out a fucking gun and a dagger. She uses it to free herself from his grip and then shoot Bragi's arm off, and says, I give thee the power of evil. Bragi's arm is blown clean off, and then they explain that, and then Gunko goes on to explain as she summons a pentagram circle. She says, "In exchange for some measure of thy lifespan, thou wilt receive an undying body and uncanny strength. Under fealty to Mu, though thou art unbound by common sense and logic. Demons are the only proper form for life to take." And then she uses this move called Domi Reversi, where she sinks Bragi into the ground and flips him over. And then after that, he reemerges from the ground in a super demon form. And it's pretty nuts. Bragi starts attacking his own men. And he seems significantly bigger now. I don't know if this was always the case, but he's like towering over the other giants in a way I didn't think he did before. But yeah,
I think maybe he was made bigger.
Mm-hmm. Maybe he's more like the Oni, like the bigger, the ancient giants, where he got turned into that. But maybe we'll get more of an explanation later. It's not looking good.
Yeah.
As they're attacking their own men, we also see that Dory has also become a weird demon giant, and Imu uses the rest, transforms the rest of the giants there into demon giants, and it's not looking good because now the chapter ends with a 2-page spread of all of the evil turned giants attacking their own, and I think they are significantly bigger now. Because the giants that used to be smaller are now a lot bigger after they were transformed. The chapter ends with Imu saying that it will not be destroyed, but preserved and ruled over. And he's like, well, maybe now it's time to stay and watch to see how useful they will be in war. Back at the village, everybody's trying to get Ja Rule to flee. And Ja Rule's like, never tell a warrior to run from a battle. And yeah, that's where the chapter ends. Josh, what did you think about chapter 1150?
All right, so I enjoyed this chapter. It's not my favorite one of the week.
Mm-hmm.
There was a very, very fucking epic chapter. As a matter of fact, I mean, all the chapters epic this week, but man, there's a lot going on Elbaf, man. Shit turned the fuck very, very, very fast. I mean, Imu is here through Gunko. Yo, I'm at a loss for words, to be honest, guys. They got to fight all these giants. I'm going to be honest. I'm not super interested in what's happening right now. I don't mean that in a critical way, more so that I think this is all just set up. This is Oda just doing the work, setting things up piece by piece, setting a situation up. So then, for the real story points to start. But yeah, I mean, the fact that people could be flipped to turn into demons. Is there a precedent for that anywhere else in the series? I can't really think of it. Not that there needs to be. I'm just curious. You guys have
outside of the Holy Knights, I think that's it. The Holy Knights haven't been transformed to the Holy Knights haven't been transformed to the same degree that the Elbaf giants have. But yeah, they're definitely. I think they definitely had the same thing happen to them, where they had the flip, and that's why they're so cool, being so fucking evil for no reason.
Yeah, that makes sense. Maybe that's what happened to them too.
Mm-hmm.
Right, because they are purely Ryan to the core. Yeah, it's funny that he made these giants even bigger, because I was starting to kind of lose track of the scale of things, especially when they show the Straw Hats and then they show all the giants next to each other, so they don't really look that big in comparison. It's a little jarring, but I don't know. I feel like I'm sputtering on. They need to nerf Gunko's shotgun though. That is OD.
Yeah, she just pulled out a fucking gigantic old style
Wildfire
shotgun.
shotgun.
Yeah.
Uh, I tell you, if Punisher had a shotgun like that in Rivals, that motherfucker needs to get banned every game. All right, Brian, what were your thoughts on One Piece?
This was a pretty interesting chapter. Seeing seeing Emu kind of turn the giants into ancient giants. I'm pretty sure that's what's going on here. Just because they increase in massive size and they get the horns and shit. Really makes me curious what the fuck her power really is, because it looks like she can do a lot of stuff. It looks like she can bestow power upon people. She can give people immortality, it seems. Like, it's just very interesting. Like, I'm kind of really curious as to like what exactly it is, and I wonder what her kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Like, what is her counter to Luffy? Like, what is her opposite to Luffy when it comes to like how she brings people around her? Because if they're kind of like heading on a collision course towards each other, and one is the complete opposite or the eternal enemy of the other, like, there has to be some thematic opposites or similarities between them in the way that they influence people around them. Because it doesn't seem like Emu has an like inherently evil or mean relationship with like the God Knights so far. It seems like she expects a lot of them, and they are kind of like, respectful of her, but not fearful of her, if that makes sense. It's very odd. I'm really curious to learn more about her and, what her character kind of entails. But those are my thoughts so far.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry, Chris. Yeah, it's just funny you say that, Brian, because like I feel like the opposite with a lot of the things you mentioned. Like, I think, not with a lot of things, but just the last thing you said, as far as shit. All right, let me do my thoughts one at a time. So Gunko, as far as Gunko being the opposite of like Luffy, an obvious point right there is that he's all about freedom and empowering others to be freed, and she lets her boss control her.
Oh no, I'm talking about,
you know what I'm saying? Literally dominate and her will through her. Oh,
I'm talking about Emu, because Emu's the one that's controlling right
now. Well, I mean, there you go. That's the difference. Emu controls people, dominates people's wills. But yeah, that was another thing. Like, I think Emu, that was Emu the entire time. I think that was like Emu using his abilities. I mean, is Emu a woman?
We don't know.
Do we know that?
We don't know. It'll be just they for now.
So yeah, I think whatever. Yeah, I think Emu was using. That was Emu's abilities, like those portals, pulling out like the gun and flipping people to turn them mute. I don't think that's Gunko's powers.
Oh no, it's not. It's definitely Emu.
Right. All right. I just wanted to make sure I was clear with that myself. All right. Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, I'm very interested as well. It seems to be very different abilities from what we've seen. Even as far as devil fruits go, this is pretty excessive amounts of power, to the point where I don't even think she has a devil fruit ability. Emu does. I was thinking about it, and I'm wondering what the connection between her power and actual devil fruits are, and I'm wondering if they draw from the same source of power. Um, yeah, I can't tell you what her ability is unless like Emu is a literal demon, um, and I think that a long time ago, as far as like the dynamic between Emu and Luffy goes, I think the interesting thing is that a while back Mihawk said that Luffy's greatest strength is his ability to make people want to help him, like of their own free will, and to you know to be able to bring people to his side, even if they were former enemies. Um, and Emu just takes control. Um,
Yeah.
it's definitely more of forcible control over someone as opposed to winning someone over and having them literally dedicate their life to helping you because they like you so much. Yeah, I'm very curious because it's very possible that Emu and Luffy meet here for the first time. I'm sure that Luffy and Loki are going to pull up with Zoro and Sanji as well, and Hajuden and his crew, and it's going to be a big, cool 2-page spread moment where they're going to come up. I don't think they're going to do anything of consequence to Emu right now, but I do think it'll be the first time that Luffy meets Emu, and I'm very excited to see how that turns out because Luffy's so disconnected by the actual weird 4D chess political games that are happening that he's just going to see this weird demon thing and go, what the hell? I feel like he's just going to get taken aback.
Yeah.
I'm excited about that, though. As far as how they're going to get out of this one, I'm very curious to see. I feel like Dory and Bragi and the demons that have already turned are probably going to leave with Emu. Elbaf as a whole will probably be saved, but the giants that have already turned will probably end up leaving here with the Holy Knights and then returning for the final battle where they'll probably be freed then somehow. But I can see like the old giant pirates being turned against Elbaf and Luffy making Elbaf a territory of his.
Or maybe Luffy will hit him with a freedom punch.
That would be cool if you hit him with a freedom punch, but yeah, maybe maybe the Nika fruit has the ability to kind of just free them from this kind of thing. I think that'd be really cool.
This is something that just came to my mind. Emu has to be connected to the devil fruits.
Oh,
right?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
At this point, without a doubt now. All this demon stuff and the literal pentagram.
Yeah, it's devil stuff, devil fruit. The literal devil's right there.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I have a grasp on the obvious.
Yeah. I'm curious to see how, though, because I'm wondering if it's like kind of... Yeah, I really don't know. I don't know how they would connect, but I have a feeling that they do. And that the same source that she uses to summon these weapons is the same source that gives the fruits their abilities. It's hard to see it not connect, but maybe it's not even connected at all. That's also a possibility.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I really got to say about One Piece. It was a shorter chapter. It was 15 pages, but a lot is crammed in here. I feel like a couple of panels are like almost unfinished in a sense, like especially early on. There's like it comes out of the margins a little bit, and usually these things happen, sometimes like immediate chapter releases have these little flubs, and then for the volume releases they're cleaned up. But yeah, we talked about Punk Hazard being kind of like overcrammed and stuff. And I feel like sometimes there's one of those chapters for me where I think it shows up again where like it's very dense chapter stuff, which I understand because Oda wants to finish this story this century, I would hope. So he has to do these kinds of things.